In parts of Central Asia, being found guilty of a crime can lead to more than just a prison sentence. You're also likely to be infected with an ancient and potentially deadly disease, tuberculosis. Since the fall of the former Soviet Union, health systems in Central Asia have been stretched to breaking point. Surveillance and treatment programs have been abandoned. In Kyrgyzstan, rates of tuberculosis, a highly infectious and deadly disease of the lungs, are at record levels. It's at its worst in prisons. Rates are 30 times higher than outside the prison gates. But few of the inmates newly arrived at this prison, near the capital city Bishkek, are aware just how serious the problem is.
I was tested while I was in school. I'm not worried because I know that I don't have TB. No, I'm not worried. This is all for our health.
They may arrive healthy, but in some prisons, screening shows that 40% of detainees are suspected of having TB and need further tests. Particularly worrying is the appearance of MDR, or multi-drug-resistant TB, new forms of the disease which don't respond to first-line drugs.
The situation is alarming, especially with regard to multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis, because multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis requires much more clinical skills, skilled workers, doctors, nurses, and it is much longer than treatment of susceptible TB. I feel that something should be done, and very quickly, because patients cannot wait. They're dying without treatment.
In fact, TB is the leading cause of death in Kyrgyz prisons. Conditions found in the old Soviet-era institutions have made them a breeding ground for the disease.
Detainees live in overcrowded cells, in premises that are not really suitable for normal living, humid, poorly heated, very limited access to fresh air. Nutrition in prisons is very poor usually, and of course stress is a big factor.
I was constantly coughing, day and night, so I couldn't sleep. And I had a high temperature. I felt as though my whole life was draining away.
Turazbek discovered he was sick with MDR-TB while he was in prison. But today he's feeling much better. The prison authorities decided to work with the International Committee of the Red Cross to set up a new program for MDR-TB. It's the first of its kind in Central Asia. The medication regime is tough and expensive, up to 20 pills a day for months, even years, and the side effects can be extremely unpleasant. X-ray screening is not enough. Further tests are needed to confirm the diagnosis. A brand new modern laboratory has been created on the prison premises. By analysing the sputum samples, MDR-TB strains can be identified and patients put on the right treatment regime as soon as possible. Without the programme, Turazbek would have died. He comes from a farming family who live 500 kilometres away. He hasn't seen them since he was sent to prison 7 years ago. But he doesn't want to go home until he's completely cured.
I don't want to infect my family with tuberculosis. That's why I want to get to the end of my treatment course properly before I go back to them.
Где-то улица, где-то барышня, что я люблю. Вот этот улица, вот этот дом, вот эта барышня, что я люблю.
Finding a job, somewhere to live, rejoining the family, it's never easy for prisoners coming out once they've served their time. When you've got TB, it's even harder. There are few hospital places for MDR patients in Kyrgyzstan. Most ex-detainees have to fend for themselves. Many end up on the streets.
Принимаю лечение сейчас, заканчиваю, правда, и
I'm still taking medication. It's true I'm coming to the end, but I'm still taking the pills. As well as that, I can't get a job in my field. I can't work because the medication makes me feel weak. My body just isn't strong enough. So that's why at the moment I'm out of work.
Sergei and his family get by, but only just. Volunteers from the Red Crescent Society visit him regularly at home, encouraging him to stick to the tough treatment regime. Sergei is only one of a small number of MDR sufferers in Kyrgyzstan getting effective treatment. But until MDR-TB is controlled inside prisons, it won't be controlled in the outside world.
I believe we should worry because we live in a very much different world when travel is very common. I believe that European Union is not that far from Kyrgyzstan. You know, all these workers who are going to Russia and then they might end up in one of the European countries. Who knows if one of them will bring MDR-TB strain with him or with her.